आज हमारे साथ है Mr. Siddhant Digvijay Jaitha. He's a writer, a traveler. He has been under Socialist 40 under 40 business magazine. He has also reversed his type 2 diabetes. So welcome to our podcast, Time Capsules.
Thank you so much, Mayank. It's lovely to be here and have this candid chat with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so first of all, I think you were born and brought up in Mumbai.
Yes.
Then you traveled abroad for BBA.
Yes.
Then you came back to Kolkata to join your family business.
Yes.
Why?
So I'll tell you, my journey has been a little bit of a roller coaster ride.
Okay.
I'm born and brought up in Bombay. I did my schooling in Candid school, which is in South Bombay. After that, I did my A-levels in Cambridge Arts and Sciences in Cambridge. And then I went 3 years to did my BBA with Oxford Brookes University. And at that time, there was a separation in the family. The head office was always Calcutta and the branch office was Bombay.
Okay.
So my father used to look after the branch office and my uncle used to look after the head office in Calcutta. So when the separation happened, it was a bitter separation between the two brothers, and we bought the company. Okay. He sold us the company and we bought the company, and that is why the head office situated in Calcutta, my whole family had to shift from Bombay to Calcutta.
Okay. So according to me, or there are some opinions that Kolkata is not the best place for opportunities to grow, as in for job opportunities or even for startups. We know that Kolkata is not famous for startups.
Right.
You can say that Bangalore is, Pune is, but Kolkata is not that famous. What's your opinion on that?
So I'll tell you honestly, Mayank, when you talk about startups, see, obviously Calcutta, the industry space is little limited, as compared to a Delhi or a Bombay and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think in today's time, everyone is equal. Everyone has an opportunity. Everything is tech oriented.
Yeah.
If you have a good idea or a good pitch, you think anywhere, investors from anywhere over the world or India, anywhere will see that. And they will want to invest in a company which is different and unique.
Yeah.
So I think, that is a mindset now that, Calcutta is not prosperous or it's not growing. But I think it's all about the idea and the mindset. If you have the will to strive and you think you have a very good idea, so it's not only restricted to Calcutta, you can try outside as well. There are angel investors, there's a lot of people who are there to support.
Yeah.
So that way, yeah.
So what are the main benefits if I start a startup today, here in Kolkata?
See, it totally depends on what kind of startup are you planning to start. Like if you have a very unique idea, or what is your target audience, what is the kind of idea which you're trying to generate, it totally depends on that. And see, like for example, myself, I started 4 startups my own. It's all about my passion. Anything you're passionate about, it can turn into a business any point of time.
Yeah.
So when I started my startups, I started with an home accessories brand called The Home Story, which I started mainly into luxurious home accessories because I like, beautifying homes. I want to see something different in different houses when I visit my friend's house, or, just be a happy space, a positive vibe. So that is the reason I started that startup called The Home Story, where we import, as well as we have a team out here who work on the imported products which we import as well, according to my ideas and my design. So that was one startup I started. Yeah. Then I also started, so I don't know if you know, I've reversed my type 2 diabetes. And on that thing, I wanted to inspire others, people also, because, snacking is a very big industry. Today, everyone wants to binge on something or the other at any time of the day. So why not eating something healthy? And people think that healthy is boring.
Yeah.
Which is not boring. I think that if you can just substitute certain ingredients, it can be interesting as well. So for example, when I started my startup, it was totally to inspire the young gen, to inspire all kinds of people, who are also having problems in terms of health, certain dietary changes or something. We are also catering to patients as well. We've launched a different range out there as well. And we are already in 6 cities. We're launching 8 more cities this financial year. So, I think that if your idea is unique and things like that, I think anything can work.
Okay, so we are talking about that Crunch and Munch startup you did. Okay, that's nice. So among all of this business life, I think diabetes was the huge blow.
So about the diabetes thing, actually, it was hereditary.
Okay.
My father, grandfather, everyone had diabetes, but luckily I was always athletic from school. There's not one sport which I have not played, whether it's basketball, cricket. I was the cricket captain in my school in Bombay. Any kind of sport I was very inclined to. But I think there was a point of time, I don't know, it's like once I got married and, things, when I shifted to Calcutta also, I got into a bit of a depression as well. Because, I didn't know a single soul in Calcutta. So, obviously coming from Bombay to Calcutta, when you don't know anybody,
and you don't know from abroad.
Yeah, exactly. Coming from there. So it's been I think it's been like that and then like that, So it was totally, when you don't know someone, you don't know what you're going to do. You know, at that time, even my company was in a lot of liability when my uncle separated. So even the company was a big mess, and you know, even the family was really stressed and things like that. So at that point, I didn't know what to do. So that was a time a little bit of depression sunk in. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to do anything, you know, don't want to meet people and things like that. But then I thought that, you know, and I think everything is related to one another. So, you know, it's not only about how you live, it's also your psychological patterns. You know, when your subconscious mind thinks something, on your psychological mind, when you're not happy, you know, that also causes stress.
Yeah.
You know, so you need to be happy at all points of time, no matter what you do, you know. So, you know, people just think that, you know, it's your lifestyle that, you know, if your lifestyle is not fine, like for example, I had type 2 diabetes. So my type 1 is basically hereditary and type 2 is lifestyle.
Okay.
So when I had diabetes, you know, my whole lifestyle was distorted. So there are a lot of factors, you know, that was a factor, my lifestyle, the way I was living, because obviously when you're depressed, you don't really care what you're doing, you know, you're binging on anything, you're eating anything and things like that. So I think that's a collective thing which led me to this type 2 diabetes.
So how did you deal with it and, you know, like come out of that
So, you know what, my weight went to 106 kgs. Okay, so I was always between 65 to 70 and my height is almost about 5'7", 5'7.5". So I think the ideal weight when I went to consult, they used to say anything between 72 to 74 is good.
Yeah.
You know, but my weight went to 106. And that was the trigger point because I started becoming breathless. I could not, when I used to walk even 10 steps, I used to like, you know, pant. You know, walking up the stairs, walking down the stairs. Even in the office, you know, I was not able to concentrate too much when I'm doing my office meetings or sitting with the team or any kind of
Can't
meetings.
imagine you. I need a moment.
So, yeah, exactly. So I was one big teddy bear, I would say. So the thing was, so then, you know, my mother got really upset and disturbed, and she said that, you know, because obviously I'm 40 now.
Yeah.
You know, so and as we grow, our metabolism also reduces, you know, in terms of age. And also a lot of health parameters also come in place. So when I went to the doctor, we have a nice family doctor. We did my blood test and we got my reports. And so my fasting came to 225, you know, which was really alarming. And that is the time I saw my mother started really crying. You know, that, you know, what's happening, you know, now because the doctor was very blunt. Our doctor is really blunt. You know, what he said that if you don't sort yourself out right now, you don't have much time. That's the way he says it on your face. So my mother, being a little emotional, started crying out. But then I realized, you know, that was my trigger point.
Yeah.
I realized that, you know, if you're suffering, it's not only you, it's your whole family suffering with you. Obviously. You know, because obviously the people you care about, your friends, your family, the loved ones, you know, everyone is suffering. So I said that you have no right to make others suffer. You know, obviously, and today I have 2 daughters, you know, they also look at you as role models. So your father's a role model. So you want to do something for the family. So even that was my point, that, you know, I wanted to do something for them, for my friends, you know, get back into the life which they would be proud of that I live. So yeah, it's a collective thing that
So you had the motivation? Or
I had that motivation, and also I used to self-motivate every day. I used to read some self-quotes. Then I had this really good family friend. She also runs a very good wellness center called Empezar Wellness. She's a psychological motivator. You know, so she used to call me up every single day and say that, Siddhant, it's a new day. It's a new opportunity. God has given you another life. Every day. Be in gratitude and, you know, continue your journey. Do something every day that by the end of the day, when you go home, you have something to smile about. So that used to also, you know, when someone is putting that effort behind you, you know, you don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
So everything, I think, together was a thing which helped me to get out of it.
That's quite inspirational, actually.
Yeah.
So coming back to your business life.
Yeah.
Recent years में हमने एक चीज़ notice किया है that people want to do खुद का कुछ.
Right.
Whether say it's startup or a business. What would be your advice to them? Should they join a job first, get some experience and get the reality of how a business works, or just go with their gut feeling?
See, I think that you can go with your gut feeling if you're passionate about. There's no lot of opportunity in today's time. You always have a family business to back on.
Yeah.
You know, but if you want to pursue something, if you're passionate about something, I think you should always try, because unless you try, you don't know if it's going to succeed or not.
Yeah.
Like today, I started my first startups also. I don't know if it's going to fully succeed or not, but I was passionate about to take that risk to try something new.
Yeah.
Because unless you don't try, then it becomes very, you know, a monotonous lifestyle, I would say.
Yeah.
You want always a change, you know, even in terms of the Gen Zs, they want to try something new all the time. You know, they don't want to just, because I'll be honest with you, when my father, my grandfather had a different mindset. You know, obviously when generation to generation change, mindsets change. So, you know, we have a different mindset today. You know, like, you're not afraid. I think they are more risk takers in today's generation. You know, that fine, that we want to try it, we are passionate about it, and there's no harm. We always have our family backing in the back of it. If it doesn't work out, they will always encourage you. And I think today's parents are really, you know, more like friends than parents, and they're always there, I think, to encourage their children to try something new. So, you know, it's and they also would be proud, you know, if you do something on your own. Like today, I'm proud more of not only running my family business, but about my startups which I'm doing, because I'm passionate about it, and that's something my own. Family legacy is generation to generation, fine, that also needs nurturing, that also needs care, but that is something which someone else created, and I'm taking forward. But this is something which I've created. So obviously you will feel much prouder in what you're doing, you know, like in terms of own your babies. It's basically your own baby, actually. So, you know, that is something I would encourage all the young generation today to, you know, try it out and, you know, try new things for sure,
Okay. So I noticed your brand deck and it said that you're the 4th generation of your family business. So when you entered your family business, what were the things that you saw that these are outdated things? I need to remove those because these ideas don't fit in this current generation.
So I'll tell you, I'm born brought up in Bombay, and it's a different lifestyle out there. Obviously. You know, it's a very fast-paced life. Everyone is so busy. Everyone is more work-oriented. You know, no one has time for each other. Even my own friends, when I go meet them, you know, in Bombay, you know, I meet them only on weekends or their house probably, because Monday to Saturday, no one has time because of the way they work. It's the working style. So I've seen that working style out there. So when I came to Calcutta, first of all, as I told you, my family was in a big liability. You know, we are mainly the largest importers of aircraft and aircraft spares in India. We basically import the entire plane, the private planes, your propellers, even the helicopters, and we supply to all the government, flying schools, charter companies. In fact, I think the politicians, all the celebrities, all go on our client aircraft.
So it's internationally or just?
It's domestic, mainly domestic. We are supplying only to the Indian market. But as I told you, like, because it's such a long lineage, so we have our loyal customers, and they know that we are a very old company, and we know the integrities of the business. So obviously, they rely on us much more. But what I thought that, you know, at that time when the older generation, you know, that time emails were not that frequent. You know, there was not much emails. The trunk calls used to be so expensive. You know, so so it was a different way, I think, of working in that time. And I think the opportunity or the I would say the zeal in terms of where they want to see, they were contented. You know, at that generation, I think they were more contented in terms of they're showing the balance sheet is showing a bit of profits, they're happy. But I think that in today's generation, you know, when there's so much technology, you know, everything is just like today also, like for example, I need to purchase parts of an aircraft or anything, you know, it's just like I can swipe my credit card. You know, it's basically today we have AOG also orders. For example, if any aircraft is on ground, you know, they need the part immediately. So immediately that same day it can be shipped from US, and within 3 to 4 days we get it in our thing, you know. So everything is so fast paced now. So and I think that is why in today's generation people have that strive to grow also. Because, you know, you're seeing that, you know, everything is very accessible. You know, you're not waiting for something, you're not, and even the people who are working, like, you know, in abroad, everyone in US, basically my markets are mostly US and Europe. So I'm mostly working because of the time difference at night. Because from 12 onwards to about 4 every day, I'm working at night. Because of the time difference between India and US. So all the quotes, all the things to send the supplies, we get at night. And in the morning, mostly my banking work and, you know, just sending out the quotes to our customers and things like that. That is why I get time to do my startups. You know, that is why I get that extra time to do my startups. So yeah, I would say that, you know, today everything is so accessible and easy. And even the calls have become much cheaper than what it used to be, because obviously the plans which all the digi companies are giving us. So I think I'm happy with the space today in the generation. If I want to live, I would live in today's generation. So yeah.
How do you balance all of these? Like, first of all, how do you balance all your 3 and 4 startups?
So I'll tell you what. Now, when I started the ideation, I've got a team. So I've got a team for every startup of mine. So I have a marketing head, I have my sales team, I have everyone. So, you know, we basically every Monday of every week, We meet and we exchange ideas, what is not working, what is working. And I have that time slot for every startup of mine. And then we explore on that. So every day, at least for 2 hours, I work only on my startups.
It's enough.
2 hours is very good enough because I have a very good team also.
Okay.
You know, so it's always a team effort.
Yeah.
You know, you can ideate something, but you also want a good team who can take it forward with you, who has the same vision.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's difficult to do a lot of things together.
Yeah.
But I think that teamwork in today is also very important.
What are the harsh realities you faced while doing a startup?
So while doing a start, I'll tell you about my Crunch and Munch experience. One really good experience and really hard-hitting experience actually.
Okay.
You know, at the time when you want to start up, you're really excited and you want to do so many things. But when your product is ready and you're going to the market, you know, and you're going to meet your retailer for the first time to put the product in that shelf. That experience is by far one of my most, I would say, hardest experience, because I think in any organization, sales is one of the most toughest job in any company. You know, and so I used to go, when I started my startup, so Crunch and Munch, I went to every store personally myself. Obviously, you're a new brand. There are many brands out there. They will bully you. You know, so you go there. You're trying to, you know, sell your product. They'll, even if there's no flaw too much, they'll still take out a flaw and say, no, this product won't work, sir. This will not do. And I say, sir, unless you don't put it and you don't try it, how will you know the customer will not? No, but they're only the judges. That, you know, nahi chalega. You leave this product. And that, but with me, one thing about my nature is I have that never to give up attitude. That person rejected me once. I went. I said, "Okay, sir, no problem." Again, after a week, I went there again. He said, "Sir, मैंने तो last week आपको बोला ही नहीं आने." I said, "नहीं, sir, but I want you to try the product. You know, just try it once, then I won't say anything." He tried the product. Still, he says, "नहीं, थोड़ा इसमें नमक कम है, या नमक ठीक नहीं है, या बहुत bland है, या." Then again, he rejected me. Again, after that, I went. Third time, after a week, again, third time I went. He got fed up. He said, "Sir, आप मेरे पास हर टाइम." मैं बोला, "नहीं सर, मेरे को खाली आपको प्रोडक्ट फीड से दिखाने का मन है." So he got so that he said, "ठीक है सर, आप एक बार रख लो, मैं आपको पेमेंट नहीं दूंगा. I'll keep it on a consignment basis on my shelf. If it sells, I'll pay you." So I said, "Okay, fine, I'm happy with that also." So that was my first thrill and excitement, you know, in Calcutta. I'll tell you the shop's name also. This Krishna in Alipur. There's this Krishna store.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah. So his owner, he's a different kind of a personality. It's very difficult to convince him also. You know, so then he finally got, I would say he got a bit irritated also. And he said, "ठीक है, आप रख लो, इधर आप side में रख लो." And I was so thrilled, you know, when my team went and they said, "Sir, हम लोग का products is selling from the shelf, and you know, people are liking the product, and the dealer wants to give us a repeat order." So that itself is
the same dealer.
Same dealer. So, and in today's time, that dealer is my highest seller amongst all my stores. The first store which I started. So, it's something, you know, to be proud of. You know, I think that itself is an achievement. That, you know, you have that never to give up attitude.
So you have to work on your sales.
On your sales, on your way you convince someone, how strong your PR is. You know, in today's time, I think PR is a very important factor. Your communication with the other person. Like in today, I see in my own business also, which I'm running. Competition is very stiff. You know, but I think the PR, which is the thing there where you have your relation with your customers or your suppliers, play a vital point. Like today, you won't believe it, with 1 or 2% margin difference also, a customer changes. You know, no matter how loyal he has been. You know, because in the end of the day, he's showing that how much money he's saving for his company. So, you know, things like that, you know, when we talk the relation, I charge a premium or I charge any price in terms of my quality and my efficiency. You know, so when I say that you're going to get this product by this date, no matter what, I don't see day and night, and I make sure that they get the product. So that is why they don't now, in today's time, they don't mind paying that extra buck also if you're getting your product on time and you're saving that extra revenue. For example, an aircraft being on ground. You know, you're losing a daily revenue, you know, a hangar cost, maintenance cost, everything costs. So, you know, they're showing that they're going to be saving that extra revenue, just not saving that 1%, which they're really after. So, you know, that is why.
That's how you portrayed your product.
Portrayed my product through the thing, yes.
Okay. So, you have your 4 startups, right?
My 4th is going to be launched.
Yeah.
3 startups in the.
The 4th one is, I think, that
The
House of Fashion.
SDJ.
Yeah.
House of SDJ.
So your each startup is different from each, like they don't even come in the same category.
It's not in the same category.
So how did you get the idea for each category?
So I'll tell you honestly, I've never believed in putting my eggs in one basket. I always think that if you're a businessman, you should always try different verticals, different trades. You know, in terms of today also the young entrepreneurs, like if you talk about a lot of my friends in Bombay also, they started with their family business, but today they're running multiple businesses together. You know, in terms of, because today if one business doesn't do well, you have something to back on.
Yeah.
You know, it's in terms of your bread and butter, I would say. So these startups, basically, as I told you, it's all passion projects. Like, for example, health was the Crunch and Munch again came from my health journey.
Yeah.
House of SDJ again was I wanted to beautify homes, so I wanted to try something in the home accessories journey.
Yeah.
I've always been into cooking, so because even in my uni, you know, every day I used to have my own cookbooks, make my own recipes, and try cooking on my own. You didn't have house help that time.
Okay.
You know, obviously in abroad you don't have much house help.
Yeah.
It's very expensive as well. So you know, I found one day I found my cookbooks in one carton put up, and I got that out, and then I started reading, and it gave me the nostalgia feeling that, you know, and I was always passionate about cooking. I always liked doing something or the other, making new recipes and things like that. So one day I was going through those books, and I said that why not try something where I can, what my experience I've had throughout my life, I've had my own cooking experience, why not give it to the people outside as well?
Yeah.
It gives that more of that homely kind of a taste as well, you know, the way I probably cook. So that is how this brand called Buna Comida started.
The Cloud Kitchen.
The Cloud Kitchen is basically a Lebanese and a Mexican cuisine brand which I started, and I did my first show at BRC Farmers Market as a test run of the product, if it would work or not, because anything you start, you always want to see the review.
Yeah.
You know, you start in a small way, see the review,
get
a feedback. So if you get at least even a 70% or 75% positive feedback, you get that confidence to start something big. So that is how it started, and and in about 8 months or a year's time, I'm looking to open my own restaurant as well in Calcutta. So
that's nice. So coming to our theme, bridging the gaps between millennials and Gen Z, how much do you think mental health is important? Because recently हमने देखा that the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, he said that being depressed doesn't mean that you can't work, which I think is partially true. Yeah. But you don't give your 100% to a work if you are not completely happy. Right. If you are depressed, your work degrades. Right. You're not happy about it. Right. So what's your view on that?
See, what he says also is completely correct. You can work, but obviously, you know, you will not be able to generate those ideas because always your mind is full of negativities.
Yeah.
You know, if you're depressed, obviously you're negative. You're thinking of negative things. You're not giving your brain an opportunity to explore ideas. So obviously, it will be stagnated.
Yeah.
I would use the word stagnated if you're working with a depressed mind. But so see, and that is a way to start. You know, if you're depressed, like what I did was, when I was into depression and when I was depressed, I started going to the office. I was not working. Okay. I just used to go to the office, sit, come back home. You know, I was doing that for almost 2-3 weeks. You know, just looking at everyone in my office staff, seeing everything, sitting, and then coming back home. So because I was not being, at that time, I didn't know how I could contribute. Yeah. You know, because you obviously, if you're going to your workplace, you want to contribute in some way. But if you're like depressed, you can't contribute, you know, then it really doesn't make sense. But just to get a new environment and a new exposure, then rather me sitting at home, I used to go every day to the office.
Okay. So we should go out and...
You have to go out. You have to understand God has given you one life, which is a beautiful life. You know, have to be in gratitude that, you know, see today, even Deepika Padukone, she was in depression. She comes from such a glamorous world or glamorous field. But she herself, you know, with self-realization, with a lot of help, she got on out of it. Yeah. So, you know, I think you have people who love you, who care for you, you know, and it's not for them, you need to, or for yourself, I would say, to make that effort to at least try, you know, and explore the world outside, which is very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so generally we see that millennials have a sense of time. But whereas Gen Z usually maintain that work and social life balance. According to you, which is better for a person's growth?
See, I told you, right, like today's generation, if I were to relive my life, I would relive in today's generation. Yeah. Because obviously, you know, you have to balance your life. Today, if you're only a workaholic and you cannot balance your life, and then you can't give that extra time to your family, to your friends, then you feel at a point of time that see, today you might earn a lot of money. Like today you might have a very like even Ambani's. You take an example. They are working. They're one of the richest people in the world now. So, but still they are maintaining their social life. That the children are maintaining their social life. They're having a work balance. So I think in today's time, in terms of the Gen Z, the work balance is very important. You have to work really hard where you really need to work hard. But then also you need to celebrate that work and with your friends, your family, and give equal time, because everyone deserves your time as well.
Obviously.
You can't be selfish. Like today, if your friends or your family or anyone wants to spend time with you, you can't just shut them away and say, "Mera paas time nahi hai, I can't be with you." So they also make an effort from their time to spend time with you. So I think everything needs to be balanced well. So
Okay. So many people think that our generation, the Gen Z, are not loyal to a particular company.
You think I'm a very older generation?
No, you are a millennial, but you are quite agreeing with us. So that's a plus point for us. So the Gen Z are usually not loyal to the companies. They switch companies for their own personal growth, as in salary increases, or you get better networking opportunities in different companies. So what's
So I'll tell you what, I have this thing every week in my office.
Okay.
I have interviews coming in, I have new people, because obviously you want to hire new people, new sales team, new thing, because obviously every person brings their own unique ideas. But I see that, whichever profiles or any job profiles which come to me and I interview them personally, I see that within a year or 6 months, they've switched 8 or 9 jobs. And I wonder that, that if you switch, and it's not good, because I keep telling them, aap agar itna jaldi switch karoge, today, if you go, not forget my company, you go to any company, ABC company, you will never, they will never trust you. But today, what you're doing with other companies, if today we hire you, what's the guarantee you'll stay with me for a month also? So that loyalty, which the earlier generation had, I would say, in terms of the manpower, it's not there today. Because today, I think people are obviously, in terms of the growth opportunities, they look for better opportunities. But I think along with growth, sustainability, and where you're working, security, job security is very important as well. So those are the things which I also, in this, I'm a little old school. I think that, people should not switch jobs. If you're happy at a job, you're passionate for just a few rupees to go to another job, and you don't know what working culture that company might have as to what you're giving them. So, and what you're giving them also is not only if the company is happy with you, your future generation will prosper also. They will always look at your future kids to take first, then the outside people. You know what I'm saying? That is what I think, that in today's time, I think if you're happy and content, stick with it, because times are changing. Lots of people in the world are jobless, or they don't get that kind of job they want. But if you're happy, I think you should stick to your job.
Okay. So coming to our final segment, the rapid fire rounds. It's basically called the 3 things. In which I'm going to ask you questions and you have to list 3 things about it. So first of all, it will be 3 fashion tips.
How many seconds do I get? So I took to think.
It's going to be 20 seconds at max.
Okay.
3 fashion tips.
See, fashion tips I would say is enjoy your own skin, then be yourself, and don't leave the house without a pair of glasses.
Okay. 3 tips for startup founders.
Be aggressive, be persistent, and be very hardworking.
Okay. 3 healthy eating habits.
Follow intermittent fasting if you can. Don't just eat because of eat. Be mindful. And 3. Done?
No, you said 2.
I said 2?
Yeah.
Okay. And third one would be don't just binge eat.
Okay. Or just have crunch and munch.
Or you can just have crunch and munch,
Okay, so the last one, 3 key reminders while traveling abroad.
Don't forget your wallet. Always stick to the itinerary and explore the world. Wherever you go, be happy.
So that's it. That's the end of our podcast.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure having you here, sir.
Thank you, Mayank. It was amazing chatting with you. And after a while, I've actually been able to, it's more like I was thinking it was more like candid and more like a friendly chat with you than actually a interview. So it felt really like home.
Yeah.
And I wish any things which people can hear from our podcast, can inspire them or to help them grow in terms of anything they want to achieve. It would be really satisfying to do this.
Yeah.
And thanks once again for inviting me.
Thank you,
and
sir.
it was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so this was the end of our third episode. We hope you really liked our video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. And thank you for supporting. See you in the next episode. Thank you.